So the first thing I want to talk about is a three-dimension a human being operates inside of. The first dimension, I call it the spiritual dimension. Most mystics will tell you, if not all of them, at the beginning there was nothing, and in nothing everything is possible. That is the spiritual dimension. You can call it God, spirit, energy, love, light. Call it what you want. I call it the divine. What is with this dimension is you cannot talk about it. The words are too limited. Language is too limited. So I looked for someone that attempted to talk about that dimension and did well, and I found this quote. So please take the time to read it for yourself. In this quote, so if you need to pause the video while you read it. Okay? But let me tell you about this quote. This extraordinary woman speaks about the divine breathing out and creating. And what I like about the breath being likened to a creation is that the physicist tells us that the universe is in constant expansion. So I really like this image of the divine breathes out and creates and breathes in and everything disappears. This is all I will say for the spiritual dimension. As far as I'm concerned, it is a private, intimate relationship to the divine that I would not dream of interfering with. I will leave it up to you. Just know that this course is about creating for yourself the experience of your profound relationship to the mystery of it all. The second dimension is inside, still not inside of time and space, right? It's non-linear, outside of time. It's not like the divine's in time creates a quantum. There is no time. I know it's difficult to imagine. It's beyond your five senses. I call it the quantum dimension. It is non-linear. This is where the soul, you can call it chi, Atman, consciousness, essence. If you have an experience of being, this is where it all resides. Now, do you know that about 75 to 80% of the world population believe we have a soul and nobody speaks about it? Well, your soul resides there. Your soul essence resides there. So non-linear, non-material. This one is easier for us, human beings incarnated in a body, to experience. You just need profound stillness. But it's very rare, the persons that will say that we are limited to a body and to this material plane. Most people will say to you, no, there is something else, even if we don't know what it is. Now, then there is the material dimension. The material dimension, sorry, let me just go forward with a slide. The material dimension, or the creation of life, right, that is inside of distance, time, and form. For something to be real, it's got to be somewhere, at some time, in some form. It's got to be measurable, and this is what we call physicality or physicalness. And that is a material dimension. Now, if we look at all three dimensions, you will get the connection between all three dimensions inside of the image that, again, mystics and wise people speak about, and they speak about the river of life. So imagine either a river of light or of energy that will connect all those dimensions. But again, you can't, this is why I did this PowerPoint a bit all over the place. I mean, not linear, because I don't want you to imagine it linear. If you have to imagine it, the 3 dimension, imagine them in a concentric way, with the divine encompassing everything, the quantum and the material plane. And it's connected by this river of life that goes from one dimension to the next. And my experience of enlightened people, the people that are one with the divine, is that this river of life is totally free of any barriers. They are able to flow freely from one dimension to the next. Okay, so we're now going to look at the design of human being, right? So where do human beings fit in this picture? So here are the different dimensions of being. You have the spiritual dimension. I represent the quantum dimension with this little bubble that represents your soul. There is the earth coming up, and human beings are obviously in a body, incarnated, but if you notice, I've put your head in the quantum dimension, right? This is the ultimate. You are connected to your soul. In fact, you are your soul incarnated in a body, operating on the material world inside of the context of the divine. Now, I want to talk about the brain. The brain is to be seen a little bit like a bus terminal. When you go on a bus journey and you arrive at the terminal? Okay, the terminal is where all the buses are and sends them on trips, and people go and meet there, and you choose the bus you want to go on to get on what trip. That's a little bit how I relate to the brain. The brain is able to translate the energy of the divine and the quantum, uses language to operate in the material plane. And if you are brain dead, if somebody has an accident and they are brain dead, they cannot operate on the material plane. If your brain doesn't work, it's extremely difficult. So the brain gives birth to minds, right? And we have the automatic mind. That's the ego mind, the one that is based on the past, on stress, on decision you took, on stories, the one that created your play that you believe is the truth. And there is a conscious mind, the one that is directly connected to the quantum and the divine, the one that has allowed us to go to the moon, to create E equal mc square. That's a conscious mind where you download. If you remember the story I told you in my introduction that happened to me when I was 12, that was a conscious mind downloading this epiphany. So this course is obviously about distinguishing the ego mind so you can be free from it and connect to your conscious mind. So what does it mean to be a human being? Well, to be a human being means that you are your soul, you are from the quantum field, incarnated in a body and operating on this earth, right? So this is what it is to be a human being. Now, if we all were connected that way, we will literally be in the Garden of Eden. I mean, this earth is so beautiful, nature is so beautiful. It would be absolutely extraordinary to have a world where we all are connected to the quantum and expressed in the material plane. We would have a lot of fun. Now, obviously, life is not that way. What happened? Well, we are not being alive, we're not being, we are surviving. So let me tell you about surviving, right? Imagine wherever you are in your living room, in your office, listening to me, and imagine suddenly the most beautiful butterfly arrives. Beautiful. And exquisite. So you are present and you look at the at the movement of the wing and at the colors of the wing, and there is absolutely no threat whatsoever. It occurs as a gift. You're grateful to be able to watch this beauty. You are being present, no protection needed, enjoying the moment. Imagine the butterfly goes away and a rhinoceros is parachuted right in front of you. Well, forget about being present. Forget about looking at the beauty of the beast. You are going to go in survival mode. Survival means you are now confronting a danger and you're going to either attack, run away, or freeze. That is as a survival mechanism. So, as a human being, most of our life, we survive. Now, at the beginning of time, it was fine to survive because we needed to survive physically. We needed to learn about the climate and the cold and the heat and the wild beast, and we needed to find food because in the animal kingdom, we are part of the animal kingdom, we don't have an energy system internal, so we need to look externally for our survival. So we learned what food was good, where to find water, how to survive the elements. We did well. How do I know we did well? We are still alive. At one point, we went on survival physically, but we also shifted to survive what I call ontologically, at the level of being. Ontology is the art and science of being. So the physical survival shifted to the being survival, the ontological survival. And we started surviving each other, surviving imagined threat, surviving illusion. And exactly like when you face with a danger a physical danger, we protected ourselves. We put ourselves inside of a cage, inside of a jail, and that jail that is represented by the little blue person on your screen is called the ego. And you, who you really are, is a little red person that as we go gets smaller and smaller and smaller. As you grow older, you build your ego stronger and stronger. The ego is a protection. Very rarely will you really see a person. You will see the image that the person gives you. This is why I was talking about a play, a theater play, where all actors trying to survive, giving an image of who we are. The point of this course is for you to remember who you really are and to be free from your automatic ego. Suffering comes from that protection. And you will see as you go through the course that we survive an illusion. Now, the definition of the ego is right on your screen. The ego is the sum of all of your identifications. Now, what is an identification? It is a person's sense of identity with someone or something. The association or linking of one thing with another. This is how the ego starts. You identify with being not enough, with being flawed, with being damaged. You really believe it. And then you identify with external things like money, looks, age, gender, being married, being single, the title at your work. All of that as we go through life with a home you own, the car you own, with your past dramas, your decision. We identify with everything we can grab except who we really are. So I'll let you read the definition of the ego from Alan Watts. And if you do not know about Alan Watts, I highly recommend that you get his books. Just read it. Take the time. Pause the screen. Okay, welcome back. So, just to review, right? This is being alive, living, no threat, you are present, you are totally open, connected to your soul, all is great. You are being alive, present, in the present moment. This is surviving. Something occurs as a threat, you need to protect yourself, there it is. That is the ego, and here comes the suffering. So now what is needed? Well, obviously a transformation is needed, right? What is a transformation? A transformation is literally a shift in context. So either your life is going to be spent inside of your ego, or your life is going to be spent connected to who you really are. Now, let me say something about the ego. There is nothing wrong with the ego. In fact, except if you want to be a monk or a nun or be alone in the cave on the hill of the Himalaya, you do need an ego. But there is an enormous difference between a conscious ego and an automatic ego. Okay? The automatic ego is the one we are going to dismantle, so that you are then free to create the kind of person, the kind of character you want to be in a play that you choose yourself, in a play that is malleable, that you have a total say in the matter. And the marvelous news is that you're not limited to a character. As long as you align with your soul, the full range of being is available to you. This is what this course is about. To finish my PowerPoint, this is how we'll end up in a few sessions. Whatever life serves you, a threat or great circumstances, you are unmessable with. No one can mess with you when you are aligned and true to who you really are. You are a stand. You are aligned. Now, the final theory of my myth, right, is that if you look at all the mystical tradition in the world, they all say that the soul has been assigned the unique function of working only for what is most evolutionary in your life. So the circumstance you have had in your life, the ego you have, the people you've met, everything that happened to you, it is there so that you can elevate yourself and remember who you really are. I find that a very soothing context, because there is no bad luck or there is no bad karma or good karma. There is karma, but it is all designed for you to elevate yourself. The soul, your soul, has its own project in mind. It does. Now, you want to know what it is. And it is, once you are connected to your soul and you are clear about your soul intention in incarnating you, then you will see it becomes your privilege to express it in a mission in the material world. I invite you to watch again this session, just so that you're really clear about the whole design, and the next session we will start to dismantle your ego. Thank you.